Okay guys, how are you? I hope all is fine, and I'm going to welcome you first of all in the channel, which is ACCA Concepts, Problems and Solutions. We are talking about different concepts as per the title, and we are now in this video going to discuss the performance management, which is F5 paper, and just taking out some understanding or example from the mock papers, and let's see what we can have as per the solution is concerned. First of all, just to show that what all about the problem is, the data is, and what's the requirement of the question, and later we're going to try to solve it out. And I've actually tried it for a while as well, just was continuing and solving it out, and afterwards we're going to continue from that point. And the question is, Stowe Health Center specializes in the provision of sports, exercise, and medical dietary advice to clients. The service is provided on a residential basis, and clients stay for whatever number of days suits their needs. Budgeted estimates for the year ending 31 June 2011 are as follows. Maximum capacity of the center is 50 clients per day for 350 days in the year. Clients will be involved at a fee per day. The budgeted occupying level will vary with the client with the client fee level per day, and is estimated at different percentages of maximum capacity as follows. Client fee per day is 180, 200 and 220. Occupancy level is high, most likely, or low. Occupancy as percentage of maximum capacity is 90%, 75%, 60%. Number C, variable costs are also estimated at one of the three levels: client day, the high, most likely, and the low levels. Per levels, client day are $95, $85 and $70 respectively. The range of cost levels reflects only the possible effects of purchase prices of goods and services. So required, prepare a summary which shows the budgeted contribution earned by a Stowe Health Center for the year ended 30th June 11 for each of the 9 possible outcomes. State the client fee strategy for the year ended 30th June 11, which will result from the use of the following decision rules: Maximax, Maxi-minimum, and Minimax regret. So first of all, prepare a summary which shows the budgeted contribution earned by Stowe Health Center for the year ended 30th June for each of the 9 possible outcomes. So this is the possible outcome: client fee per day, that is the variable cost per day, 95, 85 and 70, 180, 200 and 220. So just getting the contribution formula, which is the client fee per day minus variable cost multiplied by the client number of client days. So this is how you're going to calculate the contribution. Putting on the values, you have the 9 different possible outcomes with the variable cost and the client fee per day. Now this is the summary of the budgeted contribution summary. We're going to talk about in the next question, the next part, the state the client fee strategy for the year ended 30th June, and which will result from the use of the following decision rules. Maximax mean you have to have the maximum out of the maximum contribution, giving us maximum result. So that would be the Maximus decision rule involves choosing the outcome with the best possible result. In this instance, choosing the outcome which maximizes contribution. The decision maker would therefore choose a client fee of 180 per day, which would result in a contribution of $1,732. 500. That would be the maximum contribution, because this difference is maximum. You have this maximum contribution at this. Okay, that choosing 180 per day client fee would be the best possible answer. So second one is the maximum decision rule involves choosing the outcome that offers the least unattractive worst outcome. In this instance, choosing the outcome which maximizes the minimum contribution. So the decision maker would therefore choose a client fee of $200 per day, which has a lowest possible contribution of this one. This is better than the worst possible outcomes from client fees per day of 180 and 200, which would provide contribution of this and this respectively. So that means the contribution would be this one. This contribution is the best possible contribution as far as concern is concerned. So this is how you're going to take it. And for the third part is the minimax regret. For the minimax regret, the third part need to be addressed, with the help of which we can say that yes, our actually calculations are absolutely right. The minimax result is decision rule involves is choosing the outcome that minimize the maximum regret from making the wrong decision. So in this instance, normally let's see how we're going to solve it out. Number 3, the mini-max regret decision rule involves choosing the outcome that minimizes the maximum regret from making the wrong decision. In this instance, choosing the outcome which minimizes the opportunity lost from making the wrong decision. So that is what we can perform the calculations to draw the opportunity loss table. Opportunity loss table. So this would be client fee per day, and that is 180, 200, 220, and the variable cost per day, and that is the maximum regret. Okay, so variable cost per day, how you're going to use it? 95, 85, and 70. So that would be the minimax regret decision strategy would be to choose the max regret decision strategy would be to choose a client fee of 1 to minimize the maximum regret of this one. So we need to do some workings so that we can choose a client fee that would minimize the maximum regret of that value. Okay, So that is the maximum regret. We have to choose a minimum value of the maximum regret. So that is known as the minimax regret. Okay, so for these working at 95, 85 and 70, we have to perform some of the workings. So let's see how these workings can be placed in and how we can use them for our further decision making. Let's see if I'm able to do it over here. 95 is, because the variable cost is 95, so the best strategy would be a client fee of 200 per day. Okay, the opportunity lost from using a fee of 180 would be this one. This would be the opportunity loss, 1378. We have to choose this one because of this maximum value. Okay, at the minimum, and obviously at the minimum contribution, and we're going to say that using a fee of 180, just getting the difference of this would provide us the opportunity loss of these two. So these two would be the values. The opportunity loss would be performed like 180, and that would be 39,375. That is 39,375. That is the working one, and this is achieved by this opportunity loss. And 200 is what you need to do the working to. The opportunity loss in this case would be 0. Obviously you're going to subtract from this would be 0, and in the third case you're going to put at 220, subtracting this from this, you're going to have the value. So this would be 0, and for working 3, that would be the difference of that would be 65,625. The difference of what? From this one minus this one. Okay, at 220. Now at 85, that would be working for, if not, I'm not doing actually the workings, but just letting you know that how we're going to just come up to the point that we can actually select the minimum value from the maximum regret. So 85, at 85 would be what would be the opportunity loss? Okay, so at 85, this value, obviously 200 again, would give us the maximum value. So that would, at 85 you have to add 180, got to subtract these two. At this it would be 0, and yet again by subtracting this and this in the 220 case. So the respective answers would be what? 13,125, 0 is working 5, and 91,875 is what? Working 6. So now at 70 is, yet again at 70 we have to choose the maximum, and the maximum is available at 180. So 180, at this point that would be 0, at this point it would be the subtraction of this two, and at this point it would be subtraction of these two. So the respective results would be what? 0, and then we have the maximum regret. Maximum regret is what? 39,375, 26,250, and 175,500. Okay, So this is how you're going to, this is the maximum regret among this one. This is the maximum value and this is the maximum value. So just going to select the minimum would be this one. So the answer would be, we have to choose 200. That would be client fee of 200, and to minimize the maximum regret of this one, which is 26250. This is how you're going to take up the values, and this is how you're going to solve it. And in number C, the expected value of variable cost. Expected value of variable cost is 0.1 into 95 plus 0.6 into 85 and plus 0.3 into 70, and that would be 81.50. Okay, so this is how you're going to reach out the values, and this is how it is, has to be set. Okay, so 0.1 into 95, 0.6 into 85, and 0.3 into 70, and that is the value. 70 is 0.3, 0.6, and this one is this one, which is normally taken with the help of this value. 0.1, 0.6, and 0.3, just multiplying it with the help. These are the what? Most likely low, and that is the high value. So you can actually just multiply it with the values which are the variable cost, and then you're going to have the expected value of the variable cost by having this one. So variable cost would be what? And variable cost and client fee per day. Okay, so that is a 180, that is 200, that is 220, and that is what? 81.50 and 1551375, that is 1553312 and 1454250. So this is how you're going to say the value is this one. 200 is the value, 220, 200 is the value, and this is how you're going to say this is the maximization of expected value of contribution is used as a decision making. A client of 200 per day will be selected with an expected value of contribution of this one. Okay, this will give us the maximum contribution. Just multiplying this one with this one, we have the expected variable cost, then we're going to multiply it with the client fee, then we will have this my value, which will give us the contribution, which would be the maximum contribution. Okay, that was the maximization of the expected value of the contribution. That is how you're going to say, in other words, by using the expected value of the variable cost multiplying with the client fee per day, we're going to have the maximization of expected value. Maximization of expected value. That is how you're going to